Bill O'Reilly here, Friday, April 10th, 2020. Good Friday. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. Half of humanity now on lockdown to help slow the spread of the virus. About 3.9 billion people have been asked to remain in their homes. The biggest quarantine in world history. In all, more than 90 countries have implemented severe restrictions on daily life to protect their citizens. Despite the drastic measures, some nations are now actually easing travel bans and shifting focus towards rebuilding economies. In China, the communist government is urging people to return to work and to visit tourist sites across the country. Long lines have returned to the Great Wall after a major decline in visitors. Even Apple stores are back in business after closing their doors in February. Same thing with Starbucks. To Europe, where 5 countries are now easing rules after some of the worst outbreaks on Earth. In Italy, lawmakers in Rome are asking factory workers, farmers, and truckers to get back to business. In Austria, stores under a specific size will be allowed to admit new customers. Denmark, Norway, and Sweden plan similar policies after Easter Sunday. Back in the USA, the Trump administration extended the shutdown until the end of April, but signaled some citizens could return to work shortly after that. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo now organizing a task force to study how and when to ease restrictions on the country's largest urban area and the current epicenter of the pandemic. New York State accounts for nearly half of all virus fatalities in America. While researchers say phase 1 could be over in Europe, Asia, and parts of North America, there is concern about the southern hemisphere. Experts say the virus is likely heading to South America, the Caribbean, and parts of Africa. An outbreak in places like Venezuela, Cuba, or Nigeria would be devastating as people are very poor, don't have resources, and hospitals are few. So on this Good Friday, maybe a prayer of protection for all of us in this world. This virus will end. I believe it will end by summer in the United States, but who knows? Prayer, can it help on this Good Friday? Maybe. Coming up, the message of the day. Listeners, sound off. If you are 75 years of age or over, you're a member of what's called the silent generation. You were also born to parents who were part of the greatest generation, so you're a product of both. You quietly worked hard and were a big part in making America great. You took care of your family, made sure they remained secure by owning a life insurance policy. But perhaps you no longer need or can afford those premiums. If you're 75 or over and own a life insurance policy worth $100,000 or more, We Buy 75 will appraise it for you free, help you convert it to cash. Call 844-WE-BUY-75 or visit WeBuy75oneword.com. There's no better feeling than having all the cash you need for your necessities. So don't stay silent. You've seen and heard We Buy 75 on TV and radio. Please call 844-WE-BUY-75, 844-WE-BUY-75, or visit WeBuy75.com. Call or visit WeBuy75.com today. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day, our weekly Friday segment, Listeners Tell Me What They Think. Mark in College Station, Texas, home of Texas A&M University. Bill, I received a message from a family member with an attachment of a video from a doctor with a step-by-step process of how to disinfect grocery items. Where do you draw the line between being reasonable and hysterical? Well, look, Mark, if you have time on your hands and you want to wash up all the groceries, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's an overreaction, but is it a bad thing? No. Am I going to do it? No. Especially because the grocery stores are very responsible in how they are packaging items. So I understand the paranoia. I understand the panic in some areas. If there's a video showing how to cleanse Food? Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. Sandy in Billings, Montana writes, I think Senator Tom Cotton has the right idea on punishing China for the pandemic. I was shocked at the extent of how we rely on China for medications, bring the manufacture of antibiotics and other drugs that we outsource to China back home. Hey, Sandy, look, that's going to happen. China lied about the pandemic. Its image all over the world has been damaged, and that's not going to change. Few trust the communists running the show in Beijing. We got to be careful. You can't get into a trade war with China. That's going to hurt the USA. And we are now in a recession because of the virus. So the world has got to pull together. That includes China. But you are right. Can't have them making our medicines any longer. Jim is in Newtown, Virginia. Bill, is there anything being done to protect us from looters, drug dealers, and gangs in these trying times? Crime is weighed down, Jim, in most urban centers. I believe it's because fewer people are on the streets, so there's fewer customers for the dope dealers, fewer people to mug. I don't think the criminals are social distancing. They need money. They're going to get money by committing crimes. Anything new to protect us? Not really. There hasn't been much looting. Burglaries on stores are up in New York City, but it isn't anything that is out of control at this point. Betty in San Antonio, Texas. Thank you, Bill, for wishing us a peaceful weekend. That is a precious hope. I pray every day for peace and joy. You know, Betty, it's Good Friday, and billions of Christians all over the world are contemplating, praying, thinking about the execution of Jesus. I wrote about it in my book, Killing Jesus. It was a turning point for our civilization, whether you believe that Jesus is God or not. So, praying for protection is what I am urging everyone on this Good Friday. Even people who don't believe, it's not a bad thing to think about the world, how the world got here, the state of the world. All of those things are positives. So I appreciate your letter, and I'm glad you're praying for peace, joy, and I hope protection. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually putting it together. In a moment, something you might not know. It's shocking that your home can be stolen easily. Deborah learned that brutal lesson when thieves found her home's title online. They then forged the document to appear she sold her house, but she didn't. The criminals borrowed thousands using Deborah's home equity. She didn't even know she was a victim until foreclosure and eviction notices arrived. She spent a fortune trying to get her home back. The FBI now calls home title fraud one of the fastest growing crimes, but you can avoid a possible nightmare by protecting your home with Home Title Lock. Neither your homeowner's insurance nor your bank protects you. For pennies a day, Home Title Lock will. Find out if you're already a victim of home title fraud. So please register your home at HomeTitleLock.com and enter BILL, B-I-L-L, for 1 month of free protection. That's BILL for 1 month free at HomeTitleLock.com. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Easter is upon us. 80% of Americans will be celebrating, 2.2 billion folks around the world. The holiday marks the resurrection of Jesus, as we reported yesterday, and his ascent into heaven according to Christian believers. It is the most significant holiday on the Christian calendar and the most popular church-going day of the year. But for kids, it's all about the Easter Bunny. 91 million chocolate bunnies will hop into homes. 16 billion jelly beans will find their way into Easter baskets. Peeps, also popular. Kids will gobble up 1.5 billion of the marshmallow treats. Recent studies suggest 90% of parents plan on limiting their children's candy intake on Easter. Good luck. Now, the Bible doesn't mention the bunny or eggs or chocolate, We have German immigrants to thank for that tradition. In the 1700s, the custom of an egg-giving rabbit began to make its way across America. Children decorated nests. Good kids got colored eggs on Easter Sunday. Today, 10 million egg dye kits are sold every Easter. 8 in 10 Americans planning to partake. But bunnies and eggs, that's not how Easter is celebrated everywhere. Let's look around the globe. We'll find some very interesting traditions. In France, it's not bunnies, it's bells. Between Holy Thursday and the Easter Vigil, no church bells are rung in recognition of Jesus' death. It's all quiet. Some children believe the bells are all taken to Rome to be blessed by the Pope. To Florence, Italy, where Easter looks like the 4th of July. For the past 350 years, locals there have loaded a street cart with fireworks for a tradition they call Scoppio del Carro, explosion of the cart. Ironically, it's meant to bring peace for the rest of the year. In Australia, bunnies are considered pests. So they came up with an alternative, the Easter bilby, mate. Bilbies are natives to the outback, floppy ears, noses like mice, and yes, they have chocolate Easter bilbies. Back after this. A former White House economist says there's a 100% chance of a recession and predicts 1 million jobs will be lost in April. So many Americans are moving to physical gold and silver as a recession-proof safe haven for their retirement. American Hartford Gold Group is a trusted leader in gold and silver, and they make it simple and easy to get started. They're family-owned and have an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Very important. Until you hold a precious metal in your hand, you'll never fully know the experience of being in control of your own retirement. If you are listening to me right now, the American Hartford Gold Group is offering new clients up to $500 in free silver. All you have to do is give them a call, 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text SILVER to 65532. Please call the American Hartford Gold Group now, 877-444-4653, or text SILVER to 65532. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.